The wind blew hard over the broken metal and dry dust across what used to be a human colony. Now only ruins remained. The buildings were shattered. The lights were dead, and not a single voice could be heard. Callum walked alone. His boots crunched over the cracked ground. His suit was torn, patched with wires and dirty tape. One eye was swollen shut. The other kept scanning the dark corners, looking for anything useful or anything dangerous. He had not eaten in 2 days. He had landed here by mistake, his ship damaged in a pirate attack. He had escaped with his life, but not much else. The colony had been dead long before he arrived. Still he stayed. What choice did he have? He searched ruins by day, slept in a wrecked food station at night. Sometimes he cried when no one was looking. Sometimes he just talked to the stars above, hoping someone, anyone, would answer. No one ever did. But this night was different. As the last red light of the planet's twin suns faded, Callum saw movement. A shadow. Big. Too big to be a human. His hand grabbed a sharp metal pipe. He held his breath. The air felt heavy. Then she stepped into view. She was huge, at least 9 feet tall. Her skin was pale gray with deep scars running down her arms. Her armor was thick, made of something like bone and steel. Her eyes glowed golden, and her hair, long and dark, moved like silk in the wind. She looked like a warrior, but she moved like a queen. Callum stepped back. "I don't want trouble," he said. The giant woman tilted her head. Her voice was low, calm, and full of strength. "I am not here for trouble," she said, walking slowly toward him. "I came because I smelled you." "Smelled me?" Callum asked, confused and tired. "You are male," she said, stopping just 10 feet away. Her eyes scanned him like a machine. "You are injured, weak, but still breathing." Callum didn't answer. The alien woman crossed her arms. "I am Shavira, widow of the High Blade, last of my clan. I came here to find something, someone." Callum's grip on the pipe tightened. "Then keep looking." But she took 1 step closer and said in a voice like thunder softened by sadness, "I need a husband. And you need strong offspring." The pipe dropped from his hand. "What?" he whispered. Shavira looked straight into his one good eye. "My kind is dying. We fought too many wars. Now we are too few. But you have survived. Even with broken tools, even with no soldiers. You are alive in a place that kills most." "I'm just trying to stay alive," Callum said. "Exactly," she replied. "That's why you're worthy." Silence. The cold wind returned. Callum took a step back. "You can't just pick someone like this." "I can," she said. "And I did." Callum looked at her again. Her face was sharp and strong, yet tired. Her hands had blood and battle marks. But her eyes were searching for something. "Something real. I'm no hero," he said. "I can't fight wars. I can't even fix my ship." "I don't need a hero," she replied. "I need a survivor. Someone who will not break, not run." Callum looked down at his hands. Dirty. Weak. Human. Still shaking, he asked, "What happens if I say no?" Shavira did not smile. She didn't threaten. She only said, "Then I walk away, and you stay here, alone." That word cut deeper than any blade. Alone. Callum said nothing. The stars above blinked in silence. The metal ruins whispered stories of death and emptiness. His stomach hurt. His heart hurt more. He looked at her again. She wasn't beautiful in a normal way, but she was powerful, honest, real, and she had chosen him. Maybe this was madness, maybe this was fate. "All right," he said quietly. "I'll come with you." Shavira nodded once, then turned around. Without another word, she began to walk into the shadows. Callum followed. Behind them, the ruins stayed silent. But something had changed. The broken man was no longer alone. And the galaxy had just begun to watch. Callum followed Shavira through the ruins as night fell hard across the dead colony. Her heavy footsteps echoed on the stone. He struggled to keep up, limping, tired, uncertain. She didn't speak for a long time. They walked until the ruins ended and a steep hill rose behind them. She led him into a hidden cave entrance, lit by strange blue torches that burned without fire. Inside, the cave opened wide, walls covered in glowing crystals, strange alien symbols, and old warrior masks hanging like ghosts. This was no simple shelter. This was a shrine. "Sit," she said. Pointing to a flat stone, Callum sat slowly, his legs aching. "Is this your home?" "No," she replied, removing a thick piece of armor from her shoulder. "This is my husband's tomb." His mouth went dry. "You brought me to a grave?" "Yes," she said calmly. "Because this is where it all began, and where it all ended." Shavira sat across from him. The firelight danced on her silver scars. She stared at the helmet in her lap, large, black, cracked in the center. Then she began to speak. "My people were bred for war, each of us stronger than 10 of your kind. We ruled battlefields, conquered stars, but we were proud. Too proud. We made too many enemies." She paused. Her hand rested on the broken helmet. "I was not born royalty. I was chosen by strength. I killed my first rival at age 9. By 20, I became General of the Eastern Blade. At 25, I met him. Thalkar, my husband, my equal." Her voice changed at that name, softer, warmer. "He challenged me in open combat before thousands. He beat me just once. I married him that same night." Callum listened silently. She wasn't just a giant warrior, she was part of history. We led our people together, built cities, raised towers in the ice deserts. But war always followed us. The humans came too once. We never feared them. She looked directly at him now. Until one day, one human soldier destroyed an entire scout squad. Alone. Callum flinched. "One soldier?" "Yes, he fought with fire and cleverness, not strength. That scared us more than any army." She stood now, walking to the wall where a blade was hanging, huge, chipped, beautiful. Thalkar died in the siege of Ark's Prime, an enemy mine, hidden in the snow. He didn't scream. He just looked at me and said, "Survive." Her hand tightened on the blade. I obeyed. "But what's survival without a future?" She turned to Callum again. "My people are almost gone. We lost too many sons, too many warriors. And those who remain, they grow old. No more children, no more bloodlines." Callum swallowed. The silence in the cave felt deep. "You think I chose you by mistake," she said. "I did not. Why me?" he asked softly. "Because you are broken," she said, "but you are not defeated." Shavira walked closer, lowering herself until her eyes were level with his. "That matters more than strength." He looked down. "But I'm not worthy." "Worthy?" she repeated, then pointed to the deep cut across his face. "You survived alone among ruins and ghosts. You carry pain but keep walking. That is worth more than muscle or medals." She placed the broken helmet between them. "If we create life, it will not be just bloodline. It will be legacy. My strength and your fire. My honor and your heart." Callum felt something strange, fear mixed with respect. And something else. Something warm. "I don't even know your world," he whispered. "You will," she said. Suddenly, a deep, metallic hum echoed through the cave. Shavira stood fast, her eyes sharp. She grabbed her blade. "What's that sound?" Callum asked. She turned to him, serious. "Others are coming. Friends?" he asked. "No," she growled. "Challengers?" She moved quickly, throwing him a small metal bracelet. "Put this on. It marks you as chosen." He did as she said. Outside, the night roared. Callum stood beside her, his heart pounding. He had only just stepped into her world, and already, others wanted him gone. Callum stood at the cave entrance, his chest rising and falling fast. The cold air stung his lungs. In the distance, he saw lights, 6 of them, floating like fireballs in the dark. "They're getting closer," he said. Shavira held her giant blade with both hands. "Yes, my people, my rivals. They come to challenge my choice." "Challenge?" Callum asked, confused. "What does that mean?" "They will test you. Not all believe a small human is worthy to join our bloodline." His heart dropped. "So they want to fight me?" She shook her head. "No, they want to judge you." The lights grew larger, revealing 6 tall figures, giant like her, armored in bone and stone. One of them, older and with a face full of red tattoos, stepped forward. "Shavira," he said, "we heard whispers." "That you chose him?" She nodded. "Yes, I did." The old warrior looked at Callum, his stare was cold. "He is nothing. He has no blade, no clan, no legacy," Shavira replied firmly. "He has heart." The others laughed, but Callum didn't back away. The old warrior pointed a metal rod at Callum. "Then let us see his worth. 3 tests, not of war, of spirit." Shavira looked at Callum. "You can walk away." Callum looked at her, then at the warriors. No, I'll stay. The first test was called the Holding Flame. In the middle of the frozen clearing, they lit a special fire, burning hot and blue. Callum was told to hold his hands above it without pulling back. It was not about pain. It was about endurance. Close your eyes, the red-tattooed warrior said, and think of what you protect. Callum knelt beside the flame. At first the heat was mild, but then it bit, sharp, angry. His skin began to sweat. His arms shook. He thought of Earth. He thought of his mother. He thought of being left behind, of loneliness, of the moment Shavira looked at him like he mattered. He didn't pull back. The warriors watched in silence. After several minutes, he collapsed, but not before one of them whispered. He lasted longer than our young. The second test was the choice of burden. They placed two objects before him, a sealed water pod and a baby alien creature in a cage, small, furry, with a broken leg. He was told to carry only one up the mountain before sunrise. If you carry the water, the warrior said, you will live. If you carry the creature, you may die of thirst. Callum looked at both. Then he picked up the cage. The mountain climb was brutal. His body screamed for water. His throat dried like ash, but the small creature whimpered in pain, so he whispered to it, "Hold on. I won't leave you." By sunrise, he reached the top. Shavira was waiting. Her eyes widened when she saw him carrying the creature, half-conscious but still walking. He chose life, she whispered, but not his own. The third test was the Mirror of Honor. He was given a knife, told to face a young warrior in battle. The warrior would not strike first, but if Callum attacked, he could win the fight easily. The young warrior stepped into the ring. He was maybe 16, shaking, untrained. Callum looked at the blade in his hand, then he threw it to the ground. "I won't hurt a child," he said. The crowd murmured. The boy looked at him with wide eyes. Then the red-tattooed warrior stepped forward. "Why did you refuse?" "Because strength is not proven by hurting the weak," Callum said. "It's proven by protecting them." There was silence. Then the old warrior spoke. "He has passed." Later, in the cave, Shavira stood beside him. Her armor was off, her face soft. "You surprised them?" she said. "I surprised myself," he replied, sitting down with sore legs and burnt hands. She sat beside him. "I chose you because I saw something in you." He looked at her. "And now?" "Now I know," her voice dropped low. "You are not weak? Callum, you're the kind of strong this galaxy forgot." They sat together in silence. For the first time in a long time, Callum felt seen, but far above, hidden among the clouds, a shadow moved. Someone was watching, someone who didn't want their union to happen. The cave walls glowed soft blue as the sacred fire burned in the center. Callum sat cross-legged, quiet, his heart pounding. Across from him sat Shavira, her armor removed, her tall figure dressed in ceremonial cloth, black and silver, lined with red symbols. Her golden eyes stared into his soul. "This is not just a ritual," she said softly. "This is a bond, a bloodline pact. It will mark your body and bind your life to mine." Callum nodded slowly. "I understand." But he didn't fully understand. Not yet. The 6 warrior witnesses stood in a circle around them, silent. Each held a torch made from bone and crystal. The air was thick with smoke and ancient scents, spices, ash, and blood. Shavira lifted a stone knife. Callum's breath caught. She moved closer, speaking in her native tongue first, then in human English. "This blade once belonged to my husband. Now it will mark the beginning of something new." Callum rolled up his sleeve. With a steady hand, Shavira cut a small mark across his upper arm, just a thin line. He didn't flinch. Then she pressed her own hand, marked with a glowing rune. Against the wound, a sudden warmth shot through his skin. The mark pulsed with red light. A symbol formed, part alien, part human. The warriors gasped. "The bond has accepted him," one said. But not everyone was pleased. A younger warrior stepped forward, his face sharp, his voice bitter. "This is wrong. He is not of our kind. His blood is soft." Shavira stood tall. "Do you challenge my right?" "I do," he growled. "I challenge the bond." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Shavira turned to Callum. "If he challenges the bond, he must face you, not me." Callum's eyes widened. "Me, but I just..." It is tradition, she said. If you run, the bond breaks. If you fight, the clan watches. Callum stood slowly. The younger warrior named Vorn tossed him a small dagger. You may use that. But it won't help you. The ring was cleared. The warriors circled tightly. The fire burned hotter now. The mark on Callum's arm still glowed. Vorn charged fast. Callum ducked, barely. The dagger flew from his hand. He rolled aside, picking up a piece of broken rock. Vorn came again. Callum didn't fight like a soldier. He fought like someone who had survived too much. Dirty, desperate, sharp. He jabbed the rock into Vorn's knee. The giant screamed. Then Callum threw dirt into his eyes and kicked hard. The crowd shouted in surprise. Vorn fell, groaning. Humiliated, Callum stood over him, breathing hard. You said I was soft, he said. But you never had to survive like me. He didn't strike the final blow, he stepped back. Vorn lowered his head in shame. The red-tattooed elder raised his hand. Let it be written, the bond stands. The human has earned his place. Cheers followed. Shavira stepped close to Callum, her voice proud. You did not kill him. That showed more strength than any blade. But Callum didn't smile, his body ached. His mind spun. I didn't ask for this, he whispered. I know, she said. But the galaxy asked for you anyway. That night, as the warriors left the cave one by one, Callum sat near the sacred fire alone. The mark on his arm still glowed faint red. Shavira returned, carrying something wrapped in cloth. I want to give you something, she said. She unwrapped it. It was her husband's old blade, cleaned, repaired, wrapped in new leather. This is not to fight, she said. This is to remind you who you are becoming. He touched it gently. Do you still love him? Yes, she answered. But love does not end when new life begins. It grows. She sat beside him. Their shadows danced together in the firelight. Suddenly, the fire dimmed. A strange hum filled the cave. Both of them stood. A drone, a small silver machine, hovered outside the cave mouth. Scanning. Callum grabbed the blade. Shavira's face turned hard. That is not from my people. The drone blinked red and flew away. Someone else had seen the bond ritual. Someone watching from the dark. A new enemy. Or an old one. The next morning, the skies were dark with thick gray clouds. The winds howled across the cliffs. Callum stood with Shavira on a high ridge overlooking the valley. Below them was the arena of bones, a circle of sharpened stones. Ground stained red with the memory of battles. Skulls and broken weapons were buried into the dirt, frozen in time. Shavira's jaw was tense. This place is not for trials, she said. It's for executions, Callum swallowed. Then why are we here? She didn't answer. A deep horn echoed from the valley. A transport ship landed beside the arena, sleek, black, not from her people. The door opened. Out stepped 3 armored aliens, not her clan. Their armor was smooth, polished, and painted with red circles across the chest. Shavira's eyes narrowed. Bone Circle clan? Friends of yours? Callum asked. No, she replied. They're the ones who tried to destroy my tribe after the war. I thought they were gone. One of the strangers walked forward holding a staff. His voice was sharp and mocking. Shavira, still dragging around weaklings, I see. Leave, she said. You are not welcome, the alien smiled. We will... After the human fights for his life, he turned to Callum. You bonded with one of our warriors without permission. That is an insult, and insults must be answered in the arena. Callum stepped back. Wait, what? Shavira stepped between them. This bond was accepted by my clan. That is enough. Not for us, the stranger said. Unless you fear our chosen fighter. The ground shook. From behind the ship, a tall figure stepped out. Taller than Shavira, a monster of a warrior, wearing blood-red armor, his skin pale green and covered in scars. He didn't speak, he just cracked his neck and pounded his fists together. Callum's heart dropped. You've got to be kidding me. You don't have to do this, Shavira whispered. Yes, said the stranger, grinning. He does. Or we take his blood, and the bond ends. Callum looked at her. If I run, what happens? They'll say you were weak, she said. They'll hunt us. My clan's honor will break. Callum looked down at his hands. No armor, no sword, no backup, only a mark on his arm, only fire in his chest. He nodded. Then I'll fight. The warriors formed a ring around the arena. The wind blew harder. The red-armored brute stepped into the circle, stomping his feet. Callum walked in slowly. The arena gates closed behind him. A silence fell. Then, the brute charged like a truck. Callum rolled to the side just in time. Dust flew. The ground cracked. The alien roared and swung a massive fist. Callum ducked barely. He ran behind a bone pillar, breathing fast. I can't beat him with strength. The brute kicked the pillar. It shattered. Callum flew backward, landing hard. Blood ran from his nose. He got up again. The brute laughed. Callum reached into his boot and pulled out a piece of sharp metal he had hidden since his crash. Small, rusted, but pointed. The brute came again. Callum waited. Then at the last second, he threw dust into the brute's eyes. The alien screamed. Callum lunged and stabbed the metal into a joint in the armor. It pierced skin. The brute roared in rage, grabbing Callum and slamming him into the ground. Everything went blurry. Pain shot through his ribs. But he still moved, still breathed. The brute lifted him high, ready to snap his back. Then, a loud buzzing sound echoed. The red mark on Callum's arm glowed bright gold. The brute paused, shocked. Shavira stepped forward and shouted, "The bond protects him. Stop the fight." The Bone Circle warrior hesitated. The elder from Shavira's clan raised his hand. "The pact has spoken. The bond is stronger than your laws." The brute dropped Callum. He fell to the ground, barely conscious. Shavira ran to him, kneeling, holding his head. "You didn't give up," she whispered. He smiled weakly. "Can't. I've got strong offspring to make, remember?" She laughed just once, a soft, rare sound. The elders stood in silence. The Bone Circle warriors turned and left, silent, defeated. The bond had won, and Callum, though broken, had proven something impossible. Even the weakest man could survive the arena of bones. The days after the arena passed slowly. Callum healed inside the fortress high in the mountains. His ribs were still sore, but he could walk again. His hands, once cut and bruised, now built things. He spent his time fixing old machines, rusted generators, broken food units, cracked communication devices. Shavira watched him work with quiet wonder. "You shape things," she said one day. "Not with strength, but with vision." He smiled. "I fix what I can." "You fix more than metal," she added, placing her hand on her stomach. She was glowing, literally. Her skin shimmered with faint light, and her eyes had grown softer, warmer. She was pregnant, with their child, a child of two worlds. The fortress buzzed with life. Her people, once divided, now worked together. Warriors trained in peace. Engineers studied Callum's repairs. Old songs were sung again, but not everyone felt safe. One night, Callum sat near the edge of the fortress wall, staring into the stars. Shavira joined him, her steps slow. "Are you afraid?" she asked. He nodded. "Yes, I've never been a father. Never been part of something this big." She touched his shoulder. "Neither have I." They both laughed, but far below, in the valley, something moved in the shadows. The next morning, the alarm rang through the fortress. War horns. Everyone rushed to the walls. Callum stood beside Shavira. Looking down, a black ship hovered near the entrance. Not a Bone Circle ship. This one was smaller, stealth design. It landed hard, kicking up dust. Then the door opened. Out stepped a figure in red armor. Tall, thin. A woman. Her helmet hissed as it opened. Her face was sharp, cold, and familiar. Shavira froze. "Sila," she whispered. "My sister." The warriors tensed. Callum looked at her. "You have a sister?" "She was exiled," Shavira said slowly. "For betrayal." Sila walked forward alone, hands raised. "I come in peace," she said loudly. "I only wish to speak." Shavira descended the steps slowly, blade on her back. The sisters stood face to face. "You smell of human," Sila said, nose wrinkling. "You've lowered yourself." Shavira kept her tone calm. "I have risen. And you are not welcome here." Sila smirked. "I see your belly. You carry a mistake. Half human, half forgotten." Callum stepped forward, fists clenched. "Say that again." Sila looked at him like he was dirt. "So, this is the weakling who wormed into my sister's heart?" Shavira blocked his path. "Leave now." But Sila's eyes flicked to the mountain cannons. "You're too proud to see it. The child will divide your people, not unite them." My people already chose, Shavira said. Then watch them fall, Scylla whispered. She threw a small silver orb to the ground. It cracked, and a pulse of light shot into the sky. Shavira's eyes went wide. It's a beacon! Explosions hit the side of the fortress. Enemy drones poured in from the cliffs. Sharp, black, fast. Screams echoed. Shavira drew her blade. Protect the child! Callum grabbed a shock rifle from a nearby rack and ran after her. The battle had begun. Inside the walls, Callum fought beside her warriors. He wasn't strong, but he was fast. Clever. He used old machines to short-circuit drones. He led children to safety. He took a knife to the arm, but kept moving. Shavira fought like fire, spinning, slashing, roaring. She met Scylla in the inner courtyard. Sister against sister, blades clashed. You always wanted my place, Shavira shouted. You gave it up the day you chose a human, Scylla hissed. Callum reached them just as Scylla knocked Shavira down. He ran forward. No blade, no shield, just heart. Scylla turned, ready to strike him, and Shavira rose with a scream and drove her blade into her sister's chest. Scylla gasped, fell, and whispered, You chose wrong. Then she died. The fortress fell quiet. The drones powered down. The battle was over. That night, Shavira lay in her chamber, weak but alive. Callum sat beside her, holding her hand. I thought I'd lose you, he said. I thought I'd lose us, she replied. He placed a hand on her belly. A soft kick. She's strong, Callum whispered. Shavira smiled. Stronger than both of us. Outside, the stars were brighter than ever, and inside, something new was growing. Something impossible. Something powerful. A child of two worlds, who would one day unite them all. Seasons passed. The fortress, once filled with warriors and weapons, now echoed with the sound of laughter, tools, and music. The wounds of battle slowly healed. Stone walls were rebuilt stronger. Cracked towers now held gardens. And where there had once been only survival, there was now hope. Callum stood at the edge of the fortress, holding something small in his arms. A baby. His baby. Her skin was pale silver like her mother's, but her eyes were his. Brown, curious human. She had 5 fingers, tiny fangs, and little horns just starting to grow above her forehead. She has your stubbornness, Shavira said, standing beside him smiling. And your strength, Callum replied, rocking the child gently. The warriors of the clan gathered around them, forming a wide circle. They were silent, waiting. The red-tattooed elder stepped forward. His voice echoed deep through the mountain air. This child is not one of us, murmurs rose, but she is not one of them either. The crowd stilled. She is something new, something powerful. A bridge between bloodlines, a child of honor and survival. He turned to Callum. And you, human, are no longer outsider. You are not guest. You are not weak. You are father. You are clan. The crowd raised their fists and roared in unity. Callum blinked back tears. He had come here as a broken man with nothing. Now he stood tall, with a family, and a future. In the weeks that followed, Callum worked harder than ever. He built new machines to help the warriors farm and store energy. He used his earth knowledge to set up solar towers and water filters. The clan, once ruled by swords, now welcomed tools, but not everyone in the galaxy was ready for peace. Old empires watched from far away. They feared what Shavira had created, a united clan, a human bonded to their bloodline, a child with both strength and cleverness. They sent warnings, threats. Callum intercepted a signal one evening while fixing an old radio tower. A voice hissed through the static. Destroy the child, or face extinction. He froze. Shavira read his face instantly. What is it? He told her everything. She was silent for a long time, then she said, We will not hide. But they'll come, he whispered. They'll try to burn everything. Then let them try, she said. Let them see what a child of two worlds means. The attack came 2 weeks later. A fleet of black ships surrounded the valley. Bright lights lit the skies. Loudspeakers demanded surrender. But this time, the clan was ready. Warriors stood beside builders. Drones flew beside birds. And at the front of the army stood Callum, wearing armor built with both human tech and alien steel. Not as a soldier, but as a father. He held his daughter in one arm, a signal beacon in the other. The enemy commander appeared on screen. A cold gray alien with glass eyes. "Give us the hybrid," the voice demanded, "or we erase this place." Callum smiled. "Come and try." Then he pushed the button. A bright pulse shot into the sky. All around the fortress, secret towers lit up, powered by old machines Callum had restored. They sent out waves that jammed the enemy's systems. Their ships lost control. Their weapons shut down. Shavira's warriors struck like thunder. It wasn't just a battle. It was a message. This world had changed, and so had its people. When the smoke cleared, the enemy fleet was gone, the child, now safe, slept in Shavira's arms. The red-tattooed elder spoke to the clan once more. "There was a time we believed strength came from blood, but now we see, true strength comes from choice." He looked at Callum. "You chose us when no one else would. You brought life when we only knew death." Shavira stepped beside him. "You were never weak, Callum. You were what we needed most." He looked at her, then at their daughter. "I was broken when I came here," he said. "Now I am whole." The stars above shined brighter than ever. The clan cheered, and across the galaxy others began to whisper about the story of a simple human who made a warrior queen fall in love and gave birth to a future that no one could destroy.